Lots of guns.
John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is finally out. I got to see it last night, and here are my thoughts. So John Wick Chapter 3 takes place moments after the events of John Wick 2, and John Wick is on the run. Everybody's out to kill him. There's a bounty on him because he broke the rules in the Continental. He killed someone in that hotel. You're not supposed to do that. So now everyone is trying to kill him for this bounty, and oh my god, this movie is so violent, it's so hyperactive, and it's so awesome. Even though I liked the first one a lot from an emotional standpoint, they killed his dog in the first one. The second one, even though you didn't really care that much, I mean, you understood they blew up his house and everything. It wasn't as emotionally investing as the first one, but it was still such a good action movie. And it appears as these movies go on, the action just keeps getting better and better. And oh my god, this is probably the best one in terms of action. It's just, the stuff that is happening in this movie is just unrealistic. And some people are going to think that's kind of a negative, but who gives a shit? This is a movie. Movies are supposed to be like this. Movies are supposed to take you out of real life, and they're supposed to be amazing in terms of action movies. Absolutely love this. There's so many memorable scenes, and just the stuff that Keanu Reeves does in this movie specifically is totally awesome, and I can't believe that they were able to pull off some of the stuff that they did. The stunt work is amazing. The choreography is amazing. If I'd have to compare it to any movies out there, this would have to be like, the first John Wick movies, obviously, but this is kind of like the Raid Redemption. Yes, there's guns and shooting. Obviously, John Wick is known for that, but there's so much more combat in this. They actually have actors from, I think it was the Raid 2. They might have been in the Raid. I'm not entirely sure, but I recognized one actor from the Raid 2. And you can just tell that they were going for that kind of style. The stuff that they have in this film is super, super violent. It almost kind of reminded me of Kill Bill. It's so ultra. I also want to get this out of the way too. Halle Berry has been added to this film, and like Keanu Reeves, she does an amazing job in terms of choreography as well. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Apparently she did some training very similar to Keanu Reeves when he was filming these movies, and it shows. She is a complete badass, and not only did she do a good job, but the dogs that they have in this film are the most trained dogs I have ever seen in a film. They should get work after this. I've never said that in a review where animals should get work, but these dogs specifically should be in future films because they know what they're doing. I am commenting on dogs. There's just so much going on in this film. John Wick kills someone with a book. He kills multiple people on a motorcycle. There's an action sequence that involves throwing knives. This movie just has it all. And I can't see them doing anything better than this. And also the movie really looks into John Wick's history. It's very vague and ambiguous. The film definitely goes into the assassin world of John Wick, and I can't believe I'm even saying this. I wasn't expecting this. It kind of reminded me of Assassin's Creed a little bit. This goes deeper than just like the hotel in New York. This is like a society, almost kind of like a religion in a sense, where if you're like an assassin, you have to follow like these rituals. It's crazy. The amount of stuff that they added to like this universe is incredible. And I understand that it seems like I am praising this film because I love the first John Wick movies. This movie isn't without its problems, though. Let's get into that. Absolutely loved it, though. This is probably, like, one of the best in terms of action. First one, like I said, it's really good with emotion. This one is just, if you want stuff happening that's unbelievable and action-worthy, this is your movie. But the movie does have flaws, and these are kind of nitpicks, but I do want to talk about that specifically. So everyone is trying to find John Wick in this film for this $14 million bounty. I think that's the right number. There are so many cases where people are trying to kill him and he's seeking, passage or refuge. And there's a lot of cases in this film where he's surrounded by people and people have the opportunity to kill him. And they never really take that opportunity. And I think the reason why they don't take that opportunity is because he's been in that location before and people know of him kind of like almost as family a little bit because of this assassin's lore. So maybe that's a little bit of why that happened. But as the movie goes on, you find out that there's a character that absolutely hates him. And once that character has sealed a deal with John Wick, they have the opportunity to kill John Wick. And it's not just because they, want this bounty. They actually really want John Wick dead, in my opinion. Or not necessarily dead. They just really don't like John Wick. I don't know. It just seems like if you don't really like John Wick that much, you could have really killed him on the spot and as a bonus gain that money. But I don't know. And this might be a potential spoiler. I'm not going to go into anything specific that happens in the movie, but just for future films, this, I think, leads up to a sequel. I'm not entirely sure. From my understanding, I thought this was going to be the last one. But from what I'm seeing in terms of the ending, it seems like this is leading up to something bigger. And the reason why this ending happens is that there's this character that does something really out of character. And I just wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I can understand what they were doing, but it didn't really match the character. We've known this character for the past 2 films, and it just didn't seem like something that the character would do. I don't know, I just feel as though the ending should have had a little bit more closure. If they wanted to end this franchise, this is that movie that they should have done it with. This blew all of my expectations out of the way, and I just feel as though this should have been that ending. This should have had closure. But because this is now a franchise, they're wanting to make a 4th one, and I'm glad that they're going to be making more potential John Wick films. As far as I can see, from this ending, it seems like that's where they're going, but I just feel as though this could have been a really good ending, but it didn't provide enough closure, so that's why I think there's a 4th John Wick movie happening. I don't know. Do you guys want to see another John Wick movie? I would love to see another John Wick film. I just don't necessarily want it to happen this way because of that certain character change that happens at the ending of this film, but absolutely loved it. Like I said, these are just little nitpicks. The movie does have like a lot of violent scenes, maybe scenes that are unnecessary to put in. There's a lot of pain in this, and I'm trying to figure out if like the pain was necessary in this film, but overall, I can push that aside and really love the action in this. I really appreciate the choreography and just the amount of stuff that Keanu Reeves is doing in this film. He is amazing. And it's not just him. Halle Berry did a good job. The dogs did a good job. Everybody is doing a good job. And I loved this film. I do want to warn you guys, it is so violent though. It's Kill Bill violent, so definitely be weary of that. So yes, guys, that was my review of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Comment down below what you thought of this movie if you've seen it yet. Like this video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, movie news, and gaming content. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbett Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.